We'll gather around, feel the love compound. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong. In every comment, right?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am super excited. We are doing the new Let's Resin Dragon Crystal Ball mold today, and I can't be more excited to do this. So first things first, let's take a look here at the instructions because they're giving them to us for a reason, right? First off, we have this box to build. Now, in the instructions, it also tells you where the areas are that are more or most likely to be prone to holding bubbles. Now, I am going to do this a little bit differently today. I am going to, I want to paint the dragon. So I decided that I want to try and use some eco powder in the dragon itself and then do the rest of the actual crystal ball part as resin. So for today, I'm going to be using Bond Crafter's eco powder. Now this is new on the market, so I've used it once before, really enjoyed it. So we're gonna do that today. Put together the box. Now the one thing that I'm going to let you know right now is if you have this mold and you haven't used it yet, or if you're going to get this mold, I recommend while yes, the box is needed and comes in handy, they recommend you pour it in two different steps. You pour the dragon in your first pour and then the crystal ball as your second pour because it does hold quite a bit of resin. So, what I would recommend is don't do it like me. I put the mold in the box first and I should have poured it first and then put it into the box. Like when I built it around the actual mold itself. Like I put the mold and then put the top through as you've seen. You don't have to do this. You can actually get in there and put the mold itself down through it. I did it like this because I thought I've not used very many support boxes, so I thought that's kind of how you should do it. So that's what I did. Don't do it that way. Pour your resin, pour your eco powder, whatever it is that you're going to put in there, pour that in there first so that you can get to all of the little spines and horns and all of the things on its head and all of those trouble areas easier. I wasn't able to. Like, even though I took my time on this part, I watered down the Eco Pour a little bit thinner to get into all of those areas. But because I really couldn't see what I was doing, I couldn't get in there to squeeze all of the details, and all of the horns and whatever out. I got a lot of air bubbles because of that. That's no fault of the mold. I mean, yes, they do say those are areas that are prone to it, but this is going to be a my fault, my problem type thing because I should have not done it this way. So I would recommend if you are going to do this mold, do that. Pour your resin in, pour whatever, at least to the point so that you could get all of the stuff underneath and then put it in and finish filling it up to, the top part or the bottom of the dragon and then go like that. That is what I would recommend. Now as far as this goes and what I am doing, why I did it in EcoPore, I like to paint on it. It paints sometimes a little bit easier than on resin. However, I think if I were to do it again, I would just do it all resin. So I don't necessarily recommend doing it this way just because, well, we'll get into that later on at Demold. I recommend doing resin. Now, this is the next day. It is time for the resin. I'm using Bond Crafter's Deep Pour Resin for this. I used a little bit of Into Resin's Aurora powder, the number 5. It's a green one. Just a tiny little bit. And what I want to do is have it just enough so that it looks like, the magical swirly things that you would see in a crystal ball. Put it into my Let's Resin bubble remover because even though it's deep pour, I just want to take every precaution that is possible, right? I mixed up quite a bit I wasn't necessarily sure how much more it was going to take because where, yes, they give you the amount of resin it takes for the entire thing. I didn't pay attention to how much I did. I think I want to say I did about 8 ounces of the Eco Pour. I really didn't know how much resin to do. I needed like another, I want to say I made up like 10 more ounces. I didn't use quite all of it, but I did have to make up more. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix it up and all that stuff off camera. We're going to get ready to pour. I've already added in the green, as you can kind of see the shimmer coming through there. And we're going to set this off to the side. Now I am going to fill it up just a tad bit more when I get it over into my drying area, and that's just because I don't want it to spill as I transport it over there. And you can see I'm just taking my silicone tool and rubbing into all of the little spiny things on his tail, going around the edge of the mold, and then we're going to let this set for the next couple days to cure. Now, this is about 2 days later. It has shrunk some in the curing process, which was mostly probably just bubbles coming up from different areas that, you know, was trapped and the resin moved down, whatever. We all know it shrinks a little bit when you cure it anyway. So I do need to go in and finish filling it off. I can't stop it here because part of the tail goes all the way down to the very bottom. So what I decided to do was I am going to try this diacrylic film again and see if I can get it to work like I tried to in my other crystal ball molds that I did that did not turn out right. So I just took a little bit of Bond Crafter's UV resin, put it in the bottom, put my diacrylic film in there. I'm going to let this cure for a few minutes, and then I'm just going to finish filling it up with the last little bit of UV resin just so it's completely full and that diacrylic film is completely submerged in the resin. I'm not coloring it this time because last time it didn't work out in my favor, so I'm not doing it again. Okay, so now it is finally time to demold this. Now let's talk about why I don't think it's a good idea to go the eco resin route in the actual dragon itself. This is not necessarily super easy to demold, like to the point where they actually give you instructions on how to demold it. Now, part of it is because of the issues I have with my hands. So I do have an issue with strength in my hands and stuff like that. So that is going to play its part. However, it is rather difficult. You do have to kind of like pull it up, then push it down, then pull it up, and then work it out the half of the head, and then go back and work out the wings, and then you can get the rest of the head, and then it comes off. It took me a good 10 minutes to do this. Again, part of it is the issue with my hands. Another part is I was really worried that my nails were going to pop off, and I was trying to be careful for that. So a combination of things, but because you have to put so much force on it, I broke off some of the horns on the dragon. You can see I've got a piece there on my counter. There's another little piece floating around somewhere. Now this one, because it's big enough, I will glue back on, but because of the way that I poured it initially, I do have a lot of missing tips to the horns. And then obviously because of the demold process, it was just too much strength that I was putting on those little areas that they were able to snap off. I recommend, even if you're going to paint it afterwards, just cast the entire thing in resin. This way you know that's not going to be an issue later on. Okay, so to fix these areas, I'm just taking a little bit of my Bond Crafter UV resin. I'm taking my Let's Resin little UV flashlight and spot curing it so that it doesn't drip all over the place, and then just a scribe, and I'm just going to build up those tips point by or drip by drip until I have them all on there. I mean, obviously it's not going to be the way it was in the mold, but at least it's finished and it's not showing a bunch of air bubbles. Did have a couple in the wings, so I'm going to fix that while I'm at it. And then after I'm done fixing everything, I am going to stick it under my main UV light for a good 5 minutes just to make sure it is totally and completely 100% cured. Okay, let's talk about this. So my husband saw the mold, said, I want it. I always promise I'm going to make him things and then I never get back around to it. So this is for him. And I told him what colors I was planning on doing it. Went through, got my base colors down on all of it, and he gave me another one. Well, if I were to do this, I would do it this and this and this way. And I was like, dude, man, I asked you. I told you the colors that I had in my head. I told you exactly where I was going to put said colors. I get it down there, and I was like, are you sure that you're good with this? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure that's great. And then as soon as I was like, because I don't want to hear the, well, what I would do was when I'm done, because this is for you, so I want it to be how you want it. Yeah, no, those colors are good. Okay. Next day comes, I'm getting ready to paint. I'm like, are you sure those are the colors you want? Yeah. So I paint them, I show it to him, and then I get the, well, what I would have done was, and looked at him and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? So I decided just to X-nay the entire bit that I did, which is why it's halfway painted. There's no need in letting you sit through and making you sit through and waste all your time just for me to redo it. So went over the entire thing in black, and then we're gonna just get some color on there. I'm gonna go with metallic greens and purples. At this point, I'm gonna bounce off. I will let you watch the painting process. I'll come back when we are ready to wrap things up.
There's a dragon in the cave, breathing fire tall, guarding fiercely his shiny crystal ball. Nickel asks Josh,
"What's the plan today?"
Josh just shrugs, "I don't know, what you say?" Oh, Josh can't decide, no, he can't pick a lane. Leaves Nickel sighing, driving her insane. The dragon's roaring, but he's got no clue. Josh says maybe yes, or maybe no too. Nicole says, Josh, should we fight or should we flee? The dragon growls louder, you're boring me. Josh scratches his head, well, both seem fine. The dragon rolls his eyes, take your time. Oh, Josh can't decide, no, he can't pick a lane. Leaves Nicole sighing, driving her insane. The dragon's roaring, but he's got no clue. Josh says maybe yes, or maybe no too. Nicole grabs the crystal ball, let's ask this thing. Josh stares at the dragon, will it make him sing? The dragon huffs smoke, you're wasting my night. Nicole screams, Josh, just pick wrong or pick right. The dragon gets fed up, you two are absurd. He flies off muttering, not another word. Nicole looks at Josh, see what you've done. Josh shrugs,
I guess I've won, or maybe I've won.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Okay, I'm back. So everything's pretty much done. I asked him what color he wanted the horns. He told me yellow. I kind of like them better, honestly, the way they were. Like, I don't mind necessarily the yellow going down the back. I don't necessarily care for the ones on his head. I don't really like using yellow a lot simply because it's really, really hard because it's so transparent no matter what I use. I have to go over it with white and then it still is just not a great color to use just by itself in large quantities like this. Like I don't like it. Not on resin anyway. But that's what he wanted. I don't necessarily care for that part, but I'm not redoing it. Now I am going over the entire piece with that folk art dragon glaze. It's going to add a little bit of shimmer to it and just make the scales and all of the colors that I laid down first kind of pop a little bit and, you know, just have that little bit of shimmer that just makes him just that much more bam, right? I absolutely love how he turned out minus the yellow on the head. Like that, if I would have left it the kind of black with the spots where I dry brushed the color on, I think that would have looked great. And then just had maybe the yellow going down his back. All in all, absolutely love the mold. Now I will clean up all this like little spots of paint that are all over the crystal ball itself with a little bit of acetone, but I love this. I think it turned out great. Love, love, love. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I have another idea on what I want to do that's going to take it up even more than where it is now. Anyway, guys, that's a wrap on this one. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you on Tuesday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Blue elephant is strong. Together we belong. In every comment, right? You lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer. Blue elephant crew, this one's all for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. Each subscriber's heart